Good show, good show, good show. Best Bachelor recap ever on the internet. Let's go, let's go. Hello, welcome to You Know Something with Dena and Tia. I'm Dena.
And I'm Tia, and today is September 25th, 2024.
It is Tia, and it's a very special day, very special Wednesday, because this is our first episode covering the Golden Bachelorette. So it's technically our BACHCHAT.
Exactly.
And we had an executive meeting at a long conference table with all of our producers and directors and investors. And we decided that for the next approximately 8 weeks, we will be covering BACHCHAT in the spot that is normally You Know Something. And that wasn't a table. We were kind of sitting on the floor together, just the two of us with some dogs, probably.
I was getting ready to say, I missed that meeting.
And Mama just can't do 3 podcasts a week right now. What about little baby over there?
I'm cool with it.
Okay.
I'm actually really good with it.
Okay. So we hope you'll stick with us, even if you don't watch The Golden Bachelor or Golden Bachelorette, that franchise. It's about love. It's about love later in life. It's about love after loss. We really enjoyed last year seeing mature people on television. How often do you see mature people on television? Not very often. And in a attractive, romantic, full of life way. There is still life after 60. You don't just decide, well, I'm going out to pasture. A lot of people feel that way, especially when it comes to attraction. So I feel like there's a lot of topics, Tia, you and I can move into. You know, we're going to cover what happened on the show, but it leads to things that we can certainly identify with. And we do have a large percentage of young listeners. I think love is kind of a universal thing, and problems are universal that come up in a relationship. So we hope, I'm saying all that to say, we hope you won't turn us off and come back in 8 weeks. We hope you'll give this a chance. And if not, join us on Sunday for Giggles and Gratitude and come back with us after the Golden Bachelorette coverage is over. Any thoughts on any of that? Yeah.
No, I'm just glad we're doing the Bachelorette and not, You Know Something as well.
Right.
Because this is taking everything I've got out of me. So, and I'm sure it would take everything out of you to do 3. So
I'm kind of pulling Tia kicking and screaming into this, but last year she did such a good job and had a lot of good thoughts. And I think in the end, didn't you kind of get caught up in the drama and the suspense of the whole thing?
I remember I was like boiling mad.
That's an emotion.
Okay, then yes, I guess so.
And in case, again, our listeners don't know, last year was the first time this Golden Bachelor concept had ever been on TV. We had a bachelor, Gary. He did choose someone to marry. There was a big televised wedding in the end, but it didn't last. I think it was just a few months that, unfortunately, I think that's always
They
said.
never lived together, Dena,
Yeah.
so.
I think they could not figure out the logistics, which is a problem at that age. You have your grandkids, your kids.
Okay, well then don't go on the show.
Yeah, and I think it could be a problem here, too, because these people are from all over the country, and maybe they figured we'll make it work somehow. So we're going to start. We hope that you will stick with us. See what you think. We'd love to hear from you regarding it, too. Okay. First of all, let's make it about us. And let me say that Tia, after she watched the episode, and I hadn't watched it yet, she said, we need to talk. We got to talk. And we talked on the phone, and she had said that she had someone picked out for me because I will be applying for the next season if by some slim chance I got picked. Normally, traditionally, the Bachelor for next season would be picked from whoever's left in the Bachelorette.
Right.
Because there's audience recognition, there's appeal already there. People already have gotten to know that person, and they've kind of gotten used to how the show is and will be better on camera. It may not be, but we're suspecting it will. So Tia has someone in mind for me. We have not discussed it. At the very end, she'll tell me who she thinks that is, and we'll see if I agree. And she and I both make it a little competition. We pick our top. Last year it was top 5, I think. This year we decided to do 6 because she kept 18 people, I think it was. It was kind of how our thinking was. And because just overall, I'm going to say spoiler, I thought they were all pretty great. So it's kind of hard to pick. So at the end of this, you'll learn who we've picked, see who's left. Last year, I think we both won. No, you were against Teresa.
No, I did not win.
Okay, I won last year. I don't know what I won. I never got my prize, but I did win. All right. So this is a spoiler show. You've been warned. If you want to stop it and go watch Bachelorette. Oh, you have to say Rette for me every time.
Wait just a second. We're a week behind, so we're not spoiling anything.
Yeah, but in case they just thought, well, I didn't know they were going to cover the Bachelorette. I thought I was getting ready to listen to You Know Something. But you are right. We are. This will be out the day the next episode airs that evening. So there's a little recap. And just go to abc.com. Tia, you actually record it on your internal DVR, right? On your, is that what they call it?
On YouTube TV.
Okay. She has YouTube TV. She records it. That way she can get through those commercials.
Mm-hmm.
You can always stream it through a streaming service. That's what I did. I streamed it through Hulu the next day. All right. So here we go. I'll include a link where you can find it to watch it. All right. This is episode 1. We want to talk a little bit about Joan. And this information I got from the website. So, Joan Basso, she was on last year, Tia, as you know. And she left, I think it was the 3rd week. Pretty early on, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And she left, well, let me just see what they say here. Her name is Joan Vassos. She's 61 years old. Her time was cut short on the inaugural season of The Golden Bachelor. She's a grandmother and mother and school administrator from Rockville, Maryland. I didn't even know what she did. I couldn't remember. And she was a fan favorite. She was very graceful and had a lot of charm, and I agree with that. She's like tall and elegant.
Mm-hmm.
I would describe her. She believes that everyone deserves a second chance at love, because she had a big love. She's a remarkable woman whose life has been defined by her resilience, her zest for adventure, and strong family values. It was those family values that led her to her heartbreaking decision to leave The Golden Bachelor, self-eliminating after a medical concern with her daughter arose. Despite that and other challenges she's faced along the way, including the heartbreaking loss of her husband after 32 years of marriage, she remains an embodiment of strength and grace as a devoted mother of 4, grandmother of 3, and while finding solace in the music of Elton John after she lost her husband, spending time with her dog, and cooking. But now she steps into the golden spotlight to begin this journey, and she envisions a future filled with shared moments by the beach and cherished time with family. So after we watched the little introduction to Joan and her story, her marriage story, what were your thoughts?
I loved her just like I did before she left The Bachelor, The Golden Bachelor. I just think that she is every single thing that you said. She's full of grace, elegance. I adore her.
Yeah, and when she left last year, there's some people saying that she left because after a couple of weeks, she thought, I'm not really into Gary. You know, the spark is not there. I might as well just go home, and I'm going to use you know, you go on a blind date, and you say, call me after an hour. And if I say, oh, okay, I'll be right home, that means I'm going to use an excuse to get out of it.
No, I think her daughter was going through postpartum
And
depression.
I think, because she did say something when she came back after the rose or the reunion, she said, I kind of felt like Gary might be sitting on my front porch steps when I got home saying, I don't want to do this with anyone but you. Because Gary told everyone that, you'll recall.
Mm-hmm.
You're the love of my life. I never thought I'd feel this way. So I think she was into Gary. And she did say on a podcast I listened to on the way here, they talk all the time on the phone. She and Gary. He gives her advice about what to do. They text. So, you know, everybody seems to still like Gary. So maybe he's not the bad guy that I kind of got the impression that he was.
I wouldn't take any advice from Gary.
It really didn't work out, did it?
No.
All right. Well, she met her husband when she was 20 and he was 21. And, you know, they were showing pictures of them when they were young. And she's the only person, one of the few people I've ever seen who looks better now than she did when she was in her 20s.
Mm-hmm. She does.
That's crazy. So they created a family. It was all about family. They were together for 33 years. And she's her theme is, I want to be seen because I feel invisible, but my husband felt me had made me feel seen all those years and important and loved. And she feels invisible now. And I had said that before. Remember I said that a long time ago, and you said, I don't know what you mean by that. But you go from turning a few heads when you walk in a room to being bumped into by people because they don't even notice that you're there. And that's what I mean by that. Like, oh, yeah, I'm standing here. But her husband, one day he was just not feeling good, and she looked up his symptoms because she felt like something was seriously wrong. When she looked him up, she's like, this is not good. And he got the diagnosis of pancreatic cancer, which is that's a really bad one. Really sad. She said he lost 100 pounds, was home, I guess in hospice, and was with him there, but she went to go to sleep for a couple hours, and when she came back, he had passed. So she has that guilt of not being there with him when he passed. And I'm sure he was in that sleeping stage. She shouldn't feel that way. She probably unconscious anyway. But then she was like, I have to go tell my son, who was still living at home with her. But she didn't want to because that makes it real. Mm-hmm. You think about it, if someone you love passes at home, once you call the authorities, they're gone. It's like they're still mine before I start this ball rolling. So that really broke my heart when I heard her say that. Someone's in a hospital and passes, it kind of takes its course, but they're still yours at home in your bed. And can't even imagine. Did that touch you, that whole story?
Yes, it was horrible. I cried.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. She was like, poof, he's gone. He was there 1 minute and now he's gone. So now what do you do? That long of life, what do you do when you start a whole second chapter? And she kind of associated a hawk with him. Because hawks were not common in their area. She started seeing them, and then ABC was filming her out at his gravesite, and there was hawks over the grave. Mm-hmm. Do you believe in that kind of thing, like signs from loved ones?
Yes, absolutely. If you need them, I think that they're sent.
You hear people say cardinals and butterflies. Right. What was yours with your mom? Did you have one?
Butterfly.
Butterfly. Mm-hmm. So her question is, can you have two great loves of your life? And if you try to do that, are you betraying the first great love? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that you can have two loves in your life, and I don't think it's betrayal of any, not of her first husband. She loved him with everything she had, and, when things happen, things happen. And so I don't think that she should deny herself of falling in love again. So I don't think that she should feel like she's cheating or being disrespectful or anything of his passing. I mean, it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think either choice you make is the right choice. If she had said, I'm good. I've had my great love and I'm good. And I'm going to enjoy these things that maybe I couldn't do when I had all this family responsibility. Whatever works for you is the right thing. And if you think about 60, I know to a lot of people that sounds really old, but if you live, people are vital into their mid-80s, You think of 90s, that's kind of where you're going to wind down if you're lucky to live that long. But she's got 25 years to fill.
Absolutely.
Why not fill it with love? So we approve. And anybody listening that's in that situation, if you feel that emptiness, that longing, that you should go for it. Don't worry about what people think, although it's not easy. All right, I just also heard, and then we'll get to the limo entrances, I guess is what they are. I also heard that they were having a hard time back in the spring finding contestants, men, because men are attracted to younger women.
Right.
And I don't really blame people for that. I mean, we can argue it and people get mad when you say it, but women are attracted to confidence, power, accomplishments, personality, and men are attracted to what they're attracted to with women, And I think that's just the nature of the beast. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think that there are some women that are attracted to younger men as
That's
well.
True. That's true. I don't think it's as common.
Because, well, probably not. But, I mean, there are accomplished young men as well.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. So they managed to scrape some up, and I was pretty impressed. We'll see what Tia thinks with what they came up with. Okay. The limo pulls up as it does if you don't watch, and Joan looked beautiful in her gold dress. And
Stunning.
yeah. Okay, Tia, just jump in on these. Pascal, salon owner, 69. Thoughts?
Okay, first of all, 69. I was like, what the what? He looks about 69 like I look like I'm 18. Just saying. And
he does look good.
His his accent is just complete yumness.
It's French,
And,
right? French accent.
Yes, and I I liked him.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, if you think free hair cuts for the rest of your life, free hair coloring the rest of your life too, as a salon, he is. But here's where my mind goes. Yeah, is he's a player. He's around women, has his hands in women's hair all day, goes to that salon, probably has a lot of money, very successful.
He does.
Yeah. So I would feel I can't keep him. That's where my mind went.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, where I'm good.
Okay.
He's too good.
Mm.
He wants to be on TV and he wants to promote his salon. That's what I thought. All right. Kim is retired Navy captain, also 69, from Seattle, Washington. Thoughts, Tia?
I thought him wearing his Navy uniform was just flat out hot.
Officer and a gentleman.
I mean, and he's a very attractive man.
Yeah.
And I really liked him.
Yeah, I did too. And they showed some of the contestants, they show little clips of them in their life or other videos. Some they don't. They showed him in street clothes, and he has got a good build. He is in shape. I liked him too. I'm not crazy about the name Kim. Some of these names get to me, and I know you're going to think I'm silly, but I just have to look over some of these names. Let's see what I had in my notes about Kim. I thought he was strong, and his voice was very sexy. And he was divorced in 1998 and remarried for 8.5 years before she passed away. So bless his heart. He's probably really gun shy to start again and then only with her for 8 years. She had passed 6 years before. He said the time with her is enough to sustain him for the rest of his life. So if he and Joan work out, that'd be great. But his family now is most important to him. A lot of these guys were familiar with Joan. I don't know if their daughters would watch her, and once they found out it was her, they were like, "I'm in. I want to do it." So I'd say that gives Joan a lot of confidence. Anything else to say about Kim?
Mm-mm.
All right. Speaking of names, Chalk, not Chalk, not Chuck, Chalk.
His name is Charles, though.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, that makes me feel better. Insurance executive, 60. So that's a young'un. Wichita, Kansas. Okay, thoughts?
He's a hugger. His mom has cancer, and he brought soup.
Chalk and noodle soup.
No, chicken noodle soup.
No, chalk noodle.
Yes, he called it that, but that's not what it was. Chicken noodle soup, and she did take a bite.
Yeah, she said she was known for her great chicken noodle soup. So he thought. Now I thought what's the word? Not pessimistic. My skeptical self thought, when did he make that soup? Was it on the plane with him from Kansas? Is it healthy?
Wow.
Is it tainted by now? Did they make it for him and say, here, hand her this chicken soup? I mean, did he hold that chicken soup on the plane from Kansas? Did it occur to you?
Mm-mm.
All right. I thought he was attractive. I didn't think in his photos I would have noticed him, but when guys move and talk and, I can be more attracted to him once I see him talking. She seemed to be attracted to him. And she did eat a bite of soup, like you say. I don't know if I would have. All right. Jonathan, shipping consultant, 61, Oakland, Iowa. He was wearing a silk sleeping mask when he came out. Thoughts?
I just thought he was really.
Yes.
I
agree.
And he even said the poem, and
yeah,
that
was
I
later.
loved how he did about the mask part.
Did
you? Let's like see each other's eyes at the same time. I thought that was just complete dumbness.
Yeah. There's a fine line between doing the little gimmick when you come out. You think, oh, brother. But that worked for me. And it makes you remember him when you go back in the house. That's the whole idea. Go back in the mansion. Oh, that's the mask guy. Yeah, he is incredibly attractive. And I thought that was cute, too. And they were all nervous. You can't really judge how they act because they're all nervous. They're not really being themselves yet. But wife divorced him, and he was blindsided. She left him. What the heck? He's a single father of 2. He says he feels invisible, too, which, what is it, like 6 foot something? No way. And I put, is it hot in here or is it Jonathan? Okay.
There you go.
Jordan, sales manager, 61, Chicago, Illinois. He was impressed with Joan leaving last season for her daughter because he said he would have done the same thing. And I put, she seems to be drawn to him. Her body language to me was like, ooh, I like you. What did you think about Jordan?
There's some that I wrote lots about, and there's some I didn't. Jordan, I said, I really like him. That's
Okay.
what I said.
Yeah, that says a lot. That says a lot. I do want to stop and say I am stopped up and coughing, and Tia may have to take over here, or we may have to cut out a lot of coughing. I do have a cough drop. I'll try not to make noise with it, but I apologize. Michael, retired banking official, 65, Charlotte, North Carolina. I wrote nothing beside his name. What about you?
I wrote that he showed pictures. He showed her pictures.
Well, that was later.
Of flowers.
Yeah, that was later. We're talking about exits, limo exits.
Right. I mean, I'm just...
You're looking at your notes. I
yeah.
Understand. Well, my first impression of him was I didn't find him attractive. We're not going to be mean here. People look how they look, and there's somebody for everyone. And something hits you the right way, or it doesn't hit you the right way. And when he first came out, I thought, nope, there's no chemistry there. But since you mentioned it, when he sat down and showed those flowers, I thought that was sweet. I thought, anytime somebody's passionate about something, whether you are or not, that's attractive to me. So I thought that was a good move. So I kind of felt differently about him then. I think I just didn't like his hair. It poofs up in the top. I didn't like his haircut. He probably just got it right before he came, and it was a new hairdresser, and she just did it. All right, Thomas, FDNY, retired fire chief, 62. Normally, to me, fire chiefs are just hubba, especially New York, because that's like, you're in the thick of it. But I didn't have an impression. I didn't write anything down.
I put 2 question marks. That's it.
Interesting. And what? Why? Because you forgot who he was, or because you just couldn't figure him out?
Because I'm like, ugh. That's what I put on all the people that I...
Well, this is hard.
Didn't.
He's probably got a big personality. He was... The normal people, the normal they are, the less they are outgoing on TV, because they're on TV, and they're like, on TV. He's probably a great guy, and we'll see what happens. Okay, Gary, retired financial advisor, 65, Palm Desert, California. I put fun, enthusiastic, young attitude, maybe not as suave as others, but I liked him. I was attracted to him.
I put jovial.
Yeah, that's perfect explanation. He's not as fit as some of them, but I'm kind of a chubby chaser. I don't know if you know that about me. I liked him. All right, Greg, with 2 G, retired university vice president, Longboat Key, Florida. Very Jimmy Buffett, not looks, but attitude. He's embracing that. Keys.
Greg?
Yeah. He's 64. He brought her a sand dollar and said, when I'm retired now, so these are the only dollars I'm working for, the sand dollars. So she's a beach girl. So were you attracted to Greg? I was not either.
I just put sand dollar. That's it. Okay, there
Greg
you go.
the sand dollar. Okay. This is not my vibe. The drinking in the Hawaiian shirt is just not particularly my vibe. A lot of people's vibe. Not mine. All right. Pablo, retired UN agency director, Cambridge, Maryland, 63. You look at him again. Oh, okay. A little too, what's the word I'm looking for? Milk toast. They seem to be a UN agency. That's an important job, but it's a little too professory quiet for me.
Okay, we're not picking guys for you. You do
I know.
realize that, right?
It's just my impression of him.
Okay. Well,
what did you think of Pablo?
I put nothing.
Me
so
too.
There you go.
I'm sure he's a great, accomplished guy, but he didn't get a good edit. Let's say that. All right. Bob, the chiropractor, Marina Del Rey, California, 66. He came out with a video camera. I'm trying to remember why. But here's something about me, and no offense, because I believe in chiropractic medicine. I've never been attracted to a chiropractor. I've been around a lot of them, and I've just never been attracted. They have a certain vibe that's kind of new agey, mystical, and I don't know. They don't do it for me. What about you?
He had a camera, and he shared too much about his life right off the bat.
Oh, really?
So,
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting. He's probably very nervous. I think maybe that was just his hobby. Videography is his hobby. Okay. Old Doc. Jack, caterer, Chicago, Illinois, 68 years old. He had on a pink blazer. Up at that. He's saying, I did it my way. His pant leg was stuck up almost to his knee after he got out of the limo as he walked across static electricity. I felt bad for him. But I liked what he said. He said, I do things my way. You do things your way. And maybe we can get together and do things our way. And I felt like she was looking him up and down thinking, he has potential. I could dress him better than he's dressed. What were your thoughts?
Singer, he sang. And I said, pull your pants down, silly. And he's too loud for me.
Yeah.
He's definitely too loud for me. But he did cook for her, which I thought was really...
yeah.
But all the other guys wanted it, so there you go.
Yeah, I think Jack is kind of the comic relief. The jacket made him stand out, but he wasn't suave, and I don't know, he was a little goofy.
None.
Yeah. Now, he may really be, and as we talk about what happened in the house at the cocktail party, my feelings kind of changed a little bit, but I don't find him unattractive. It's just, like you say, he was trying a little too hard and a little too loud and gregarious for a partner for me. But Charles, retired data analyst. Charles L. Thank you. Retired data analyst, Malvern, Pennsylvania, 66, married for 36 years, 2 daughters, widow for 6 years. Wife died suddenly, and he said that about Charles in charge. I don't know if you made that note. He said, Charles not in charge, Joan in charge forever. I thought he was precious, but I need a little more take charge, and I think Joan does too. I think she's tired of being in charge of everything of her life since she's been widowed. What were your thoughts on Charles L?
I just put little cutie.
He is a little cute.
Little.
Very little. He's fun size. Okay. Guy, ER doctor, Reno, Nevada, 66. Thought?
He sprayed on in the air, and Joan seemed to really like it.
You like that smell?
And he said, anytime you smell this, you know I'm around.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Joan's eyes lit up, I thought, and she immediately said, you're very handsome. First impression, I mean, he's a doctor. He said sometimes, I didn't like the fact that he said sometimes he can diagnose someone by their smell. In the ER, I thought, ooh, he's sniffing sick people. But the cologne thing was cute. I liked it too. Now, if I was with him, I would be saying like, hi, guy, every morning when he woke up. Hi, guy. So he'd have to put up with that. Charles K., portfolio manager, Rancho Palos Verdes, 62. He came out with the cane. And what did you think of him?
When he dropped down and did the one-arm push-up, because she went to like help him when he dropped the cane, and then he just bam. I thought, that's cool.
I thought it was too. And I saw a look of concern on her face when he came out with the cane. She was like, oh no, I'm going to have to let him go, and I'm going to look terrible for letting him go. And, you know, I don't blame her, because you don't want to be a nursemaid immediately.
Right.
Even though it's going to happen at that age. It's like, oh, shoot. But yeah, I liked him too. He's fun. Ken, property manager, Peabody, Massachusetts, 60. He said she looked wicked awesome in a message. Boston active. That's all I put.
Ken? Question marks.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, yeah. He was one that either didn't get a good edit or he just didn't do anything that they could capture on camera that was interesting. All right. Dan, private investigator, Naples, Florida, 64. I'm going to have to look at it. Thought. Oh, yes, Dan.
Okay, he's country. And he loves his daughters.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wrote down everything in my notes, like, because I just went back and I put his daughter's killed.
Oh yeah, I'm making him cry about how much. That makes a difference too. What family to me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they know something about him. They see something in him, and now I do too. Maybe I do too. Yeah. Initially, he's not my type. He looked a little disheveled and a little goofy. And maybe a little more feeble than, a little more shaky and feeble than others when he walked, which being real, that's what I would be looking at. I want somebody who's healthy and can be strong for a while before we start taking care of each other in our old age. But yeah, my feelings kind of changed for him later. All right. Christopher, contractor, West Babylon, New York, 64. The prune juice was a big no for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe she drank it.
Oh, I would be already worried about pooping my pants.
I would have. Hello, I've got. You see, I would be like, "Are you trying to kill me right here?"
I don't want to ruin the stress.
Matter of fact, get back in the limo. No bros for you.
Yeah, exactly. Go back. Yeah, I thought that is so unattractive. They're like thinking about poop. He's thinking she's old. He's reminding her that they're both old.
It's just rude.
No. But later on, I thought he was cute. And I think sometimes the producers will say, "Here, we want one person to take this prune juice out." The writers wrote it. They thought it was funny. He said, "I guess I'll do it." But wrong move. And gross. She didn't really want to do it, I think. So that's how she's going to remember him. Okay. RJ, financial advisor, Irvine, California, 66. And he did the little song, "I'm looking for a man in finance." 6'5". Did you know that song? She did, and she finished it. So that was cute.
Guess what I did?
What?
I put question mark.
Did you? Let me look at him. RJ. Yeah. I found him attractive.
Okay.
David, rancher, Austin, Texas, 68, came in on a horse, Tia.
That was not impressive. The horse ran off.
I felt so bad for him.
I didn't. I was thinking, you're just not good.
And both of his pant legs were stuck up on his shins.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, he was riding a horse, so he's got an excuse. Yeah, I mean, a horse is sexy, riding in on a horse, but I'm just not attracted to him, I'm just going to be honest. And he spent a lot of time out in the sun, I think. And I think Joan, she kind of reached out. As they're walking into the mansion, she'll kind of look him up and down or give him a hug, and she just kind of gave him that friendly, go on, shoulder pat was what I put in my notes. And I wonder if they did the horse thing on purpose to be funny and didn't really want her. I mean, she couldn't get up on a horse. What was she going to do?
Right.
And maybe they were afraid he would jump on her, so they called it away. But it made him look real. It emasculated him, I thought. Be interested to hear what he has to say about it. Gil, educator, Mission Viejo, California, 60. He threw a baseball and said, "I heard you were a great catch," and she caught it. And I thought that was very clever, very cute. I thought he was attractive, and Joan thought he was attractive. But I'm going to read this disclaimer. This is still a developing story. But they do vet you. I've looked at the application, and they do vet you. They did vet all these guys, but then things come out after. Once the person that was victimized, allegedly, sees them on TV, they're like, wait a dang minute. What are you doing? And then they report something happens. So then it's kind of, I don't really blame the Bachelorette producer.
Since he was accused of stalking, I don't think so either.
Yeah. Gil Ramirez temporary restraining order, which is now removed, prompt show removal. So he will be edited out of upcoming episodes.
Mm.
And because he had a temporary restraining order against him, he's an educator. USA Today had obtained the Superior Court of California legal documents in which a 62-year-old woman who dated Ramirez requested and was granted a temporary restraining order as on harassment emotional grounds. That was filed on June 11th. I'm not sure when they started filming. Despite telling him to not contact me, he came to my house. He made repeated unwanted contact with me, family members, and friends, the woman wrote in a domestic restraining order. 25 attempts daily. Wow. Via phone, text, video. He lives an hour away, but he showed up at places I frequent to confront me on a daily basis. The woman stated that the emotional abuse had started 2 weeks earlier in May and demanded that Ramirez not contact her while staying away from her home, her workplace, her car, and her children's school. According to the Superior Court of California log, the temporary restraining order was dismissed following a July 24th hearing due to lack of prosecution. I'm not really sure what that means, but I think it means he didn't violate it, so it was released because it was temporary.
Okay, well, he's gone, so let's forget him.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. All right, Bill, retired videographer, 68. He had the beard and kind of the longish hair. Kind of a good look, but he just didn't strike me right. What'd you think of him?
I just put question mark.
Interesting. He did ask about her daughter, so he had done his research. And I felt like she couldn't make eye contact with him. She was looking away, so I don't think she was physically attracted to him. All right, Keith. His occupation is girl dad, San Jose, California, 62. He came in the big station wagon. Was that a Pinto station wagon?
Oh, no. That cracked me up. I liked it.
I thought it was cute too, and it kind of went with his personality. Yeah. He's 6'5", 240 pounds. He's loud, but I like his loudness as opposed to Jack. What's the difference?
Just because his personalities for me.
Yeah.
Keith, a lot.
Yeah.
And I liked him when he brought out Hacky Sack.
So, yeah.
That was cool.
He's separated from his wife for 12 years because of addiction, which, that's terrible. So he's raising his 3 daughters. So the last limo, Kelsey came out, and if you don't watch The Bachelor, you probably would like, who is this? But
that's what I thought. I'm like, who is this?
Yeah. Joey was the Bachelor after the Golden Bachelor, and we didn't watch it. We don't watch the young one, and that was who he chose. So I think they're currently engaged, Joey and Kelsey. She's gorgeous. Girl.
Yes, she is.
Woo. All right. And she said, I know somebody you might like, my dad, Mark. So he was a surprise. He was a surprise to all the other guys, too. He's from Leesville, Louisiana. He's 57, so he is a little baby compared to the rest. He has 5 kids. And when he left, she said, you can call me Mom. Just call me Mom.
Oh.
Now, selfishly, well, okay, first of all, let me say the theory on this is they introduced him because they want him to be the Bachelor next year, the Golden Bachelor. So they intentionally brought him in because he's attractive. What do you think about him?
I think he is very attractive. However, I don't think that, well, I'll just say that for later. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so that's all the guys. She's thrilled, and they go in to do their little mingling, which they call the cocktail party. I just took a few notes. Like Pascal talks about his success, and that he wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Joan. He's a family man. He brought a card from his son for her to read, like about how great he was. Did that strike you as genuine, or was that a turn off, turn on?
I kind of thought that he was really trying. That's what I thought.
Yeah. When you go back into the house, you have to just you have to be kind of aggressive, the women and the men, or else you're going to get forgotten or ignored. So he just stepped up the minute they were all in there and said, "Can I take you?" Which I think Joan would respond to. You want to know that they're interested in you, where the other ones are kind of sitting there with their hands crossed, like da-da-da. So that was a good move on Pascal, I think. Dan, he's been a single dad for 14 years. His kids are mentors to him. He had tears in his eyes, and he said there was something special about Joan. I made those notes. I don't really remember that exchange. You remember that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, I do remember I found him more attractive then. Jordan brought her a shirt for her granddaughter from Chicago. Hartley, granddaughter Hartley. Chicago-style pizza and hot dogs. I thought that was cute.
Mm-hmm. That was very cute.
They talked about pickleball.
Mm-hmm.
Have that in common. I find Jordan very attractive. Just side note. Captain Kim. They both talked about how family's first. Any thoughts about that exchange?
No, I mean, what I wrote in my notes when you were saying about them getting out, that's all I had to say about it. I mean, unfortunately, I just listened to them, and then that's how I formulated my opinion on who I thought would stay and would go.
Okay.
And I say it.
Okay, Bob, the chiropractor, he said he was struck by lightning and was dead for, was it 12 minutes or 12 seconds? Which would that be?
Didn't I say he had too much information?
I can't remember which it was, but I mean, out-of-body experience, a death experience is something to talk about. Again, he's a little too earnest. Like, he's like,
hovering.
With his mouth hanging open. So, I mean, Joan, she seems to be interested. I don't know. Jack with the pink jacket's kind of walking around narrating. He's more worried about going through the house. And
no, he walks in and he goes, "So where's the bourbon?"
Yeah. Now that's a bad sign.
Then he's cursing.
Yeah. That's a bad sign. He might have a drinking problem.
Yeah.
And the jacket. We can't forget the jacket. But the cooking, that was a plus for me. It was like tenderloin and salad, and I mean, I like to have a man around the house that can do that.
There's a whole lot of men that can cook. You don't necessarily have to have him.
Yeah, true. All right. And then Mark, they had a little exchange. I think he might be the front runner and most attractive. Jonathan, the guy with the mask, they had a little exchange. And he read the poem. I did write the poem down to you. Do you remember if you liked the poem?
I don't remember.
Okay. It's short, it's sweet. If you really like it, I can repeat. As my heart is full of bliss, standing here in front of you, so now what do I do? Take your hand, be your man, and hope you understand that I'm grateful and I'm blessed to see you in that dress. If you wrote it right then, it's okay. If you planned it for a while,
well, okay.
You do a little better.
There you go.
She seemed to like it, and she said he had a little dimple when he smiled.
Mm-hmm.
He can do just about anything, because his hotness covers it. But I don't like it when a guy, at the end of a poem, because I get to see you in that dress. That makes it about the physical. Maybe I overreact to that
Apparently.
kind of thing. That wouldn't offend you.
I didn't think, no.
Okay, it's just me. I love you for your mind. So, I don't know. Okay. First impression rose. And those of you who don't listen, watch the Bachelor series, the first impression rose is what it says. Who gave her the best first impression? They get the rose and they know they're safe, so they can chill. And it's kind of real enviable. Everybody wants that.
That's when I would have gone and had a drink.
Oh, just waiting for the rose.
Sure, yeah.
It's laying there on the table. And she starts walking around with it. She walks from room to room, and they're like, "Oh, I'm just walking through here. I'm just walking through."
Well, it's not us.
Not for us. Yeah, so who did she give it to, Tia?
Keith.
So he was the guy in the station wagon. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Big guy, station wagon. Was that who you would have given it to if you were Joan?
No.
Who would you have given it to?
Pascal or Jonathan.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I probably would have given it to Jonathan, too. I noticed, I made a note here when they were talking. Keith and her were talking. They were talking about playing cornhole. They both want to live near the beach, and they talk about taking chances. He put his hand on her neck. I mean, he went in there, and he the only one she kissed.
Mm-hmm.
Was he the only one she kissed?
Yes.
I thought so too. Well, there you go. That made a good first impression.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she gave the first impression to Keith because he made her feel calm. The station wagon was cute. The picnic on the beach sounded like her ideal date. And she wants somebody who can, what words did she use? Not take care of her, but make her feel safe and protected. And he was about the only one. Maybe there was a few that came across as, I'm masculine, I'm strong, and I'm going to take care of you. And I think guys are kind of afraid to do that now. They're like, I don't want to make her think she needs somebody to take care of her. So she does. So I think that's why she gave Keith that rose. So then they rolled the TV out, and there were messages from family members and kids, and it was a really touching moment for me. I'm sure it was for you, Tia, since you're the emotion queen.
On top of emotion. On top of emotions.
Yeah. So I think it was sweet to watch how people that I weren't really attracted to were getting so emotional in it. Made me feel bad because I wasn't attracted to him. Okay, let's get to who she gave the roses out to. 18 roses were given out. And I honestly think that would be difficult. You've spent such a little bit of time with them, and then you're like, well, she has to do it. She can't keep them all. So, first impression rose went to Keith. So he's good. Dan, Jonathan, Mark, Guy, Charles K, Gil. Gil will be gone. Swim away with
Gil. Gil is
gone. Gary, Pascal, Chuck, Captain Kim, Christopher, Greg with 2 G's, Charles L, Jordan, Bob, Michael, and Jack. And I didn't write down who was eliminated. I thought, well, I guess I can do it by process of elimination. We lost Bill, didn't we? Bill, the videographer that was kind of hairy looking. We lost
Thomas.
So let me look at. Oh yeah, he was the firefighter that just kind of disappeared into the woodwork.
Pablo.
RJ.
Hold on. Yes, lost RJ, Bill, David, and Ken.
Okay. And when you saw that, was there someone you thought, why would she let him go?
No.
Okay, so you agree with
There was some I wanted to know why she had stayed.
Well, she has to.
Oh, I know.
She can only eliminate some. So, yeah, I questioned some of those. Like, really? All right. We're not privy to everything she experienced, so we can't really judge that. All right, Tia, who are your tops? Well, let's go back and forth. We may end up picking the same one. So, what's one of your top 6 that you chose?
Jonathan.
Me too. Okay, another one.
Guy.
I had him on there and I took him off.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. When he came out, I thought he was hot. He's a doctor. I thought he was kind of suave. Later on in the house, he seemed kind of a little goofy to me. I think it was when he was talking to the other guys. I thought, he's a ER doctor where he's got to be on his toes and be talented and smart. He just seemed a little awkward to me. All right, who else?
Chalk.
I had him and I took him off.
Okay.
Let me see. I may have taken off Guy to choose Chalk. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. I like Chalk. I do like Chalk. All right. Who else?
Jordan.
Yes. I really like something about his smile and demeanor attractive to me. All right.
Keith.
Yes.
Pascal.
I did not choose Pascal. I think he's a player.
Okay. Well, you think he is.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. So who are yours?
Okay. Is that all 6 of yours?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I chose Jonathan, Mark, Gary, Captain Kim, Jordan, and Keith. So where did we differ? I know we had a lot of the same.
The only one that, well, let's see. We only have Jonathan and Jordan, Keith, Those are the only ones we have the same.
The same?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see that. You don't like Kelsey's father?
I love him. I just don't think that he'd make it.
Okay. I'm hoping. You said you were going to tell me why later. I'm hoping he'll go to my season. Quote, my season. All right. So we're going to follow. We're not allowed to change. Even if they get eliminated, we're going to stick with them and we'll see who's the last man standing on this. That's part of the fun of this series. And Tia, so you said you had a thought about who you hoped would be my guy.
Yes, but it's out of it's completely out now.
Why?
Because you're like, well, I just think that he's a player.
You picked Pascal?
You know why?
Why?
Because of all of the adventurous things he does.
Okay.
And I can see you in Paris going through all the art museums.
Tia.
And that's exactly what. Now, if you want to just go on just downright hot guy, is Jonathan. Period.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I may change my mind for myself throughout the show. We can't change our Joan picks, but Pascal may grow on me. I just think he's too good.
Okay, see, I don't think that. I mean, I just don't think you're thinking enough about yourself to think that he's a player, because I wouldn't think that at all. I would be like, I would go into it like very confident. And I think that Joan is very confident. And I can just see her just like, flip-flopping. I mean, she can go to all kinds of beaches.
Yeah, she would probably love that life.
There's some really pretty beaches in Greece.
Yeah.
I've
heard.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess that's just my insecurity. I think he's with women all day, most beautiful women all day long, and he's very charming. He's just trying to charm and win rather than needs love.
It has to. He wouldn't be there if he'd already ran his fingers through somebody else's hair that he wanted.
True. Okay, I'll keep an open mind about him. And he's still there, so there's still hope. All right, guys, that's our wrap up for this episode. And we hope you'll watch The Golden Bachelor tonight at 8 p.m. or stream it like Tia does. And join us again for our next recap, which will be Wednesday. I believe that's October 2nd for tonight's episode. And we hope you'll join us on Sunday, September 29th. We're ending our October soon. For our weekly Sunday episode, Giggles and Gratitude. If you've never listened before, it's kind of where Tia and I talk about our week. And we do devotions. We talk about religion. So it might be for you. Be sure to subscribe wherever you're listening today. That way you'll get that notice. You won't forget. It's free. And you'll just get a little notice that says there's a new episode. So that's way cool. All right, Tia, thank you for putting up with the Bachelorette franchise. I hope you'll really be getting into it. And I thank you for all your opinions. I love you.
I love you.
We love you guys too. Bye.
Bye-bye.